Constitution of the world, American Constitution has 7 clauses, it's about 4 pages. Why do you want this big tome? He said, I'm not apologetic about it. No constitution works by itself. And it's the constitutional morality, spirit of constitutionalism, that makes a constitution work. And in India, he said, constitutional morality is a mere top dressing on Indian soil. And I want all institutions of governance to be put under the common bond of constitutional justice. When lawyers and judges say this is a purely executive function, there's nothing like a pure executive function in the Indian democracy. Indian constitution has built every bit of administrative detail into the constitution. Everything is justiciable. An English judge once said that even an act of declaration of war in England is justiciable in English courts. But they don't do it. They don't do it because there are no judicially manageable standard by which to say this is wiser and wiser, lawful or not. Here, our constitutional democracy has a demise. After the exit of Pandit Nehru, constitutional democracy in this country came to an end. A constitutional democracy is a democracy which works under the limitations of institutions, safeguard of constitutional institutions, courts, human rights commissions, legislature, and a whole host of institutions which is supposed to promote the interests of the individual. Constitutional democracy has demised. But constitution still, the democracy is still a democracy in India. You go to elections and the people are elected by the people. Their representatives are elected by the people. But it's a populist democracy. A populist democracy has the danger of simply crossing the slender dividing line between mob rule and populist democracy. And we have already crossed that mark, that dividing line. And I have mentioned in the Constitutional Review Commission report, the next 5 years will be a phase of violent constitutional behavior, phase of violent political behavior. Thereafter, we will be something like a sub-Saharan African country, but 20 years thereafter. Please, we don't under the illusion that we are shining. Our per capita income is about $950 today. The 86% of national income goes to 12% of Indians. And the bottom 20% of the people, 200 odd million people, just get just 1.5% of national income. This is inevitable in a free market economy. This kind of unacceptable levels of economic inequality are inevitable. But somehow governments must make space for social security, food security, social security, human security. If you don't provide for them, then this democracy is finished. And we already see how we are emerging into a state. Actually, there is a very powerful seminar that we conducted when I was chairman of the National Commission to review the working of the Constitution. A professor from Harvard volunteered to hold a seminar. And he was Dr. Umberto Unga, a professor of political science in Harvard. He is currently the Minister for Strategic Planning in Brazil. It was a very, very interesting seminar. We assembled very top journalists, professors and thinkers, political thinkers. He propounded that India was a low energy democracy. He made a distinction between high energy democracies and low energy democracies. And he gave the criteria which distinguished between a low energy democracy and a high energy democracy. And according to him, India, actually it happened in the heart of cultured Europe in the middle of the 20th century. Alan Bullock, writing about Hitler, he said, street gangs came into the possession of the resources of the great modern state. And he had a gutter came to power. And he said, Hitler never ceased to boast that it was by popular democratic vote. What happened in Germany came back to constitutional democracy because it was a high energy democracy. Low energy democracies in the developing country, when they slip into this mode of mob rule, they will never come back to constitutional democracy. However fondly we may think of our heritage, our behavior, our political culture, take it from me that we are in great danger of slipping into a mode of mob rule in this country, from which we will find it very difficult to recover. This is just why I came here, hauling up my creaky old boats across the subcontinent, because Mr. Bahani was doing such great work. I saw his record of public interest litigations. I said I must be with him, hold his hand, and he has this program here. And I'm very happy that Mr. Dr. Veerap Moili is here. He is sincere about his work. He has a vision of what is likely to happen if today, which is the last day that we have in our lives to set our home in order. And you see, well, after retirement, I have not sold any opinion. I have not done any arbitration. I have not received one pie from anybody, either government or from a private party. But I run 3 days a week an outpatient free legal aid clinic in my house. It's an outpatient clinic, I can't entertain anything. Lawyers come. I help them in drafting and understanding what real pleadings are in law. People don't know. When you state a fact, you don't know how to write up a pleading. Young lawyers, I think there's no, Dr. Madhav Menon, this has been the largest single contribution to the promotion of legal education in this country. He's here. But I find there is some kind of rigmarole in all these things. I tell them, here, if you don't have an idea what a fact is, what is proof, what is the probability in law? If you say this, what is the primary perceptive fact, what is the secondary inferential fact, and what is, this kind of thing, law is a fantastically interesting subject, and we have made it absolutely dry and dry. When Theory of Justice, Rawls' book came, we are all fascinated by it. But it was followed by a smaller book which many people have not read, Justice as Fairness. Then came an idea of justice by Amartya Sen. He has gone into a lot of these details. But I want to tell you one thing, and that is, so far as India is concerned, please don't think everything is lost today, though we are on the brink of the verge of collapse. What we would like to do today is that the judicial system can't be run the way in which it's being run today. It requires the help of systems men. You must have an assembly line. Actually, this has been done. In fact, I wrote a piece which Madhav Menon published in the journal of this National Judicial Academy. What is a systemic approach to the control of this thing? I'll take only 2 minutes to conclude what is in my mind about this thing. We have about 30 million cases in the subordinate courts in this country. I think that's the figure which broadly everybody is agreed. 50% of them are in just 5 states. 50% of the entire country's pendency is in just 5 states. In each state, some districts have more than 50% of the total pendency in that state. And in the high courts, we have about 3.5 million cases in the high courts. And 3.5 million cases in the high court, 50% of them are in just 5 states. So one size doesn't suit all. If you have one uniform method of handling it, it doesn't suit all. Just try this. It's my request to Mr. Dr. Venkatchailah. A ton of theory is not equivalent to 1 ounce of practice. Just have this. Have some pilot projects in some courts to put them on streamline. It is the supply chain method with Six Sigma system. They're all done in the Western countries. They're all available off the shelf, but you can't transport all that. Those plants won't survive in this soil. Therefore, please have a method by which computer systems men and lawyers, there are very bright judges in the High Court who know how to handle these matters. But the problem in this country is the best is the enemy of the good. When you want to have the best system, we are 100 years behind our needs of time. The courts in the country, in England, they said, we are 200 years behind the needs of time. The judges, 300 years. This was the comment he made. One judge said, if Britain's business methods were as antiquated as Britain's legal methods, they would have been a bankrupt country long ago. They would have been a bankrupt country long ago. But thank God some of the judges are good, and we look forward to Dr. Venkatchaiah's solution to what he is going to offer to us in this dismal state. Thank you very much.